Yes. Um, Today, we're going to. I'm gonna give a small demo with the blinks and head turn, and then I will animate a head turn shot with the blinks. Like whatever we learn from these two, I will be applying it to the animation. A small shot. But I do wanted to share a website that I really like, from where we can take a lot of references. It's called FrameX Frame, so it's basically like frame by frame animation, small clips. I can open that, but I just wanted to know, is my voice clear or is the background music dominating? Just let me know so that I can volume down. Good, Sarah. Thank you. And whoever is watching the stream, just in the chat box, let me know like how many animators, and if you have any doubts regarding the things we will be going through in today's live. So let me go to, first let me open the website that I'm mentioning. So right here. So this is called Frame by Frame. So basically they take small clips from online animated films, and it's mostly animated, 2D animated films, and they just have like poses, so like frame by frame. It's like a really good reference. We don't exactly go by like looking at every frame. We basically, like, the thing is like, how are they stretching? Like, how is the head stretching and squashing? So for that reference, we kind of take this website as a reference point. But usually when we animate in 3D, the timing is way slower. So I would just suggest to like animate it more, like timing should be more faster, but like it's a good starting point to see the poses. So that's good. So let's jump into doing the blinks, because I see Mark is covering up the physicality, like walk cycles and posing and stuff. So like this live stream is going to be more about acting, facial acting, and performance. So we can start from basics, because when we do blinks and head turns, those are like the most expressive things in the facial animation and in the body, and like how do you say, like a torso framed shot. So we can, so let's start with the blink. So let's bring in a character. I think CG Spectrum has some free characters, so let's open that. there's a rig called Amy, a free rig. Yeah. And this is CG Spectrum's proprietary rig. Yeah. Maybe they must be partnering. Animator. How was it working on Uncharted? It was great. It's an awesome game, and I was a cinematics animator, and it was really a great experience. Get to work with Drake, character Drake, and Sam. But it's a huge jump for me from going from a keyframe animation to motion capture. But pretty good experience. Is the music loud? Okay. Is that better? Alright. So let's bring in the textures. I see the textures are missing. The material attribute. What's the Twitch channel for CG Spectrum? I think it is. Give me one. Yeah, I think it should be CG. Yeah, it's just caps lock CG Spectrum. All right, let's bring in the. Oh, that's the one. One. There you go. Right. Oh yeah, I think they're projecting something's happening. But we don't have to care about the likes because we're only doing. I like to keep it clean when we are animating, especially just like the torso. Okay, great. Welcome. So So the things that you don't want to use, just put it in a layer and hide it. And we'll first basically pose her in like not a T-pose, so we'll just bring down. Let's relax. Because when they have it on the T-pose, the shoulders are always like way too high. So so there are some basic head turns that I took reference. I wanted to show. Like there's few breakdowns per head turn. So let's take a look at some material that I have gathered just for the reference sake, but we can just do a basic head turn and then we can do a shot. So that will apply for anything. So basically there will be like a lot of head turns, but the breakdown can be different. So the way the person is turning. So a head turn can go from A to B, from an A pose to a B pose. But there should be a reason why that head is turning. So like, is the person shocked? Is the person seeing something like amazed by like nature or something? So like turning, what is causing the head turn is very important when you're doing a head turn. So, and then if you're like angry at someone, you basically like turn really snappier or something, so the timing changes. So have a purpose for the head turn, and your breakdowns can vary depending on like what kind of head turn. And every head turn, the eye leads the head turn. So when you have a major head turn moves, you make sure that you add blinks. Like if you don't add a blink, like in the first one, you can see it looks kind of creepy. Like it just looks like it's a robotic head just moving from A to B. So like a blink would be the one that is breaking that robotic thing, because we are working with 3D character. So it can be, you don't want to make it look very 3D. So we want to flesh it out to give that a blink when we are doing major head moves, which naturally we do that. We just can't be like open eye and just turn. So that's the one. And since we're talking about head turns, like the head and neck connection is very important, how you pose it when you're doing a head turn. So we don't animate a lot of neck, because like of course we just copy the curves from the head to the neck, but the way we pose it is very, very important. Make sure your line of action and everything is organic, but depending on the character. So posing, like any animation, posing is very important, and you need to have a head and neck connection. They need to flow. You don't want to have a broken neck and like disjoint from the neck to the head. One of my favorite 2D animators is Glenn Keane, and I really take a lot of inspiration from his animation. His is very like 2D based, but 2D animation, like the drawing or the way 2D has like a lot of flexibility in pushing the pose, whereas 3D we have a lot of limitations based on the rig and the flexibility of the rig. So yeah, but so basically when I was at Pixar, we have like Glenn Keane kind of like key animators drawing over our 3D shots. So basically the 2D animators have a really strong posing. They exactly know like how to push the character's facial expression or the pose. So this will be a good starting point for the 3D animators to get to know the timing and get to know the flushiness and this feel of the character. So is it Glenn Keane's? Yes, it is. It is Glenn Keane's Belle from Beauty and the Beast. And I do have another from Tangled. Like you can see, there's so much stretch, squash and stretch happening here on Rapunzel. So this will be like a good starting point just to see like how far can you like push the animation, because we kind of like limit ourselves not going overboard with the 3D. But if we can get this flushiness into 3D, your shots will be like the next level. So basically at Pixar and Disney, they cultivated this habit where on Tangled, when they were doing 2D when they're doing the 3D animation, Glenn Keane used to draw over every animator's shots, like the things that they need to push. So yeah, this will be like our good starting point to study and understand how the head, like it's a simple head turn, right? But in this one, sorry, there's like a lot of, but I just wanted to know like everything is a head turn here, but there is some gear change, like an expression change. That's it. 3. So yeah, there's a head turn there, but right there. And here there's a turn, she's like, what? And there's like a small head turn with a surprise expression change. So so what will I do right now, since you guys got an idea from the 2D animators, different types of head turns. We will start with the blink. I'll show you guys how a basic blink is done, and then we will incorporate that blink into when turning the head. And then either we can do one of the shots or this, or any one of these 3. We will try to imitate and get a basic timing of it. We don't have to copy it exactly, but like we'll just turn ahead and have a gear change, like either surprise or angry or anything. Like we will decide on the go, but for now I'll just show you how to do blinks. Did I specialize in facial expressions? Yes. I am specialized in facial animation and cinematics animation. So I'm very like story driven, like acting, like yeah, like performance acting animation. So yeah, the best way to train your eye to look at the animation is to take real life references, like your brother, your sister, or mom, or friends. Everybody reacts, blinks, and turns like different. So try to incorporate that into your characters, and that would just like when you incorporate your real life experiences or real life the observation that you're doing into your character, that would take your shot to the next level, and you will stand out when you apply for jobs because you kind of relate to that specific acting choice that you're going for. So yeah, let's first start off with the blink. Never worked with this character, but we can just test around. Oh, this is the stretch and squat. Perfect. All right, so a basic blink. Okay, first let's make sure we're not selecting any unwanted mesh. And we select the NURBS. Make sure what is driving that. 1, 2. I guess for this rig, you gotta use all 3 controllers. Okay, perfect. That's actually closing better. And I think we can push that. Okay. All right, so we'll use those 3. So is there a reason you wanted to specialize in facial animation? I mean, there's no reason. I do love acting, so I think naturally when I did body mechanics, facial animation, I think I really loved animating facial because it's when you give like an expression or life to the character, everything is in the face. It's very expressive. Your eyes, even if the character is doing nothing, like there is subtle nuances of acting that I'm really interested in doing it. So I think I really like it, and then I enjoy. So there is a basic kind of like basic rule. You can break it according to what character you're animating. The thing is, you key the blink and you go 2 frames. Like right now at Ubisoft, I work on motion builders, so if I'm taking a little bit of time getting used to the Maya, just bear with me, because 2 interfaces are very different, motion builder and Maya. So I feel like I'm animating with my elbows with Maya right now, but I'll try to go slowly and try to figure out where things are. It's been like really long time since in Maya. Right. Is anybody having... I think it's a CG Spectrum. Right. So, all right, the basic rule for the eye blink is first key the open eye, and then go 1, 2, 3 frames, and then key. Then again go 4 frames, and then key. So basically, the lid going down goes quicker, and the one that when the lids are going back to open, they take a bit time compared to the blink. The blink happens quick, but the reason why we give extra frame while the blink is open, the lid is opening up, is we just want that little cushion, because when our eye naturally opens, it kind of like overshoots and like settles. So we're just gonna give like 1 frame. So go to our close, which is like the middle frame, and just close the eyes and then key it. So we see there should be a way to select all the okay. So this is our basic blink. So this is, yes. So we have a basic blink in here, and it looks great. It completely looks like, okay, the character, but it looks very kind of robotic, like blinking, like open, close, open, close. So to kind of give it more flushiness, we will add 1 extra key, and then we basically will put this on weighted tangents. So weighted tangents is, I work a lot with weighted tangents. Basically you have a lot of control on where you are easing and easing out with the curve, and I do weighted and then I go to break the tangent. Then what I do is, because it's taking 1 extra frame than what we have, so there is 1 frame that I think those are the TX and TY, which we don't need. We just need the TY, which is the up and down. So yeah, we just add 1 extra frame. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the tangent out. So what is happening basically, let's push it 1 frame where it is before. So I wanted to just buffer the curve, so I will show you guys what's the difference. Why am I doing that? So go to buffer curves, snapshot. So basically the rule that I told you, 3 frames, then you have a closed eye, 4 frames, you have an open eye. But I like to give it more flushiness, so I take 1 frame further, and then I weight tangent, then I break the tangent, and I pull the tangent out. So what's happening here is I'm exactly following what the curve, before curve is, but I'm favoring it by pulling the tangent. So what's happening is, instead of the blink ending here, it's gonna take a little time in softening like that open. And then here, I want the blink, the close, to be a little bit more faster. I want it to be a little faster, so I pull it out. So what's basically happening is, so like it closes, so we're just like messing with the timing, how fast you want the blink to close and how delay you want the blink to open. So you're buying a little bit of that cushion, so it looks more organic rather than just a robotic blink going A to B. That looks good. If you want to go a little bit more fancier, you can go a few frames later, add a key, and then you can go to the key where we have, and you can actually pull it up, which basically you're overshooting. So you're opening, but then overshooting. That's it. That's like, I mean, sometimes some animators or some directors, like, but depending on what project you're working on, wouldn't like the overshoot. They want you to like, I don't want that too much overshoot, so tone it down. Then you can always go and tone down and make sure that curve is still opening. Is this yeah, I mean, it's for anybody that is interested in animation. It's not only for CG Spectrum students. Yeah. Anyways, so that's the blink. We got a really good blink there. It's overshooting and it's much organic. Switch off the inner curves. Oh. Okay, that's working. So now we will do a head turn right now, and then let's see. Let's add a head turn. That's the head. Great. So first let's take the blink and then let's move it. Because I mean, it's good to start a blink, but you know, when you start a shot, first 3 seconds in a blink it's gone, so you don't want to start your shot with anything that is like adding a blink or any kind of like animation that you want the recruiters or the directors to see. You don't want to start it at the first frame, so you want to give that buffer a few frames and then start, because it's basically when you hit the play, you will blink and then the few seconds is gone, so nobody can really see what's going on in the beginning. So we'll move the blink somewhere in between for now, and let's do a basic turn, and then we can go ahead and like see the reference what we wanted to like animate based on like what kind of head turn. So let's key the head over there, and what is happening? I missed something. Why is the blink still happening? Oh, that was the wrong key that I selected. This is the one that we. Okay, but I think we were supposed to animate these 3 controllers, the green, and I guess these tiny ones are to shape. Okay, we'll go with this.
But I don't understand. Who could have polluted the entire Earth? It's too late now.
Right. Alright, let's start with the head. So key at the first frame, and then let's give like 5 frames buffer. So we will add some keep alive here. So keep alive is basically like when the character is doing nothing and it's just like in still mode, you need to keep the character alive. So that's keep alive, where you want a little bit of movement, like either breathing or like a head turn, like some kind of movement. As a humans, when we are just like sitting with doing nothing, we breathe. So there is some life into us, so we want the same thing. So we will do the keep alive, but let's have that 5 frames, and then we'll go ahead and do the head turn from here. So in case the recruiter blinks, you can miss the 5 seconds. You don't have to worry about that. Did you animate the lower part of the eyes for the blinks at all? No. I will be animating later on, but for now I just did the top, which is like the basic eye blink I did. But when we are actually animating like further like a shot, then we will just add that cushion with the upper lids. So basically what would I do is I will take my well, I can just animate the lower lid and show you. So because I just did a basic blink at the moment just with the upper lid, so which is looking just as fine, but because we haven't given the bottom, there's not much flushiness happening from the cheeks. So what we can do is copy the TY, copy this curve, Control C, and then you go to your bottom lids. I think this is I think only okay. So anyways, we will key there wherever the keyframe starts with the upper lid, and then we'll select the other lid as well, key, and then go select the TY, which is the up and down of the eyelid, and then you say B, copy. What's happening is it will be too extreme at this moment because you have to adjust the curves, because basically we just copy this curve to the bottom lid. Now what's happening is it's going the opposite, because it's exactly doing the same thing as your upper lid. So when the upper lid is going down, the lower lid. So you basically have to revert, reverse, flip the curve, and you don't want it to go too much, you just a little, and then we can adjust the top lids. But basically That's it. So you just have to worry about your upper lid, like for the basic blink, and copy that curve to your lower lid. So, and then you can always adjust, because right now when we do the blink, because we just did the upper lid, not considering the lower, so we went overboard, like we went too low. So now what we can do is we can actually select the upper lid, TY of the upper lid, and just bring it up teeny tiny bit. And I mean, since we are already doing the lower lid, we will just go ahead and do the same thing. So hold up one second. So when we copy the upper lid to the lower lid, we just flip this curve, and this one has to overshoot the downward. So entire curve gets flipped. So we just don't want to leave it up there. So the overshoot happens, like it goes furthermore down and then overshoots up the lower lid. And the upper lid overshoots, like it goes furthermore up and then overshoots down. Oh. There. That's it. So now, because since we already did the lids, let's make it more flushier. So I believe this is the cheek. So we can just go ahead, copy this curve to both the cheeks. It, select the TY, copy. That's it. Now it looks more flushier. So that's like, you can do more in the polish stage. And like for today's demo, I basically just wanted to do a normal basic blink. And then when we do that head turn, we want the eyes to lead the head. So we add the blink when the head is turning. Then for the polish stage, we'll go ahead and give more flushiness. And when the eye is blinking, then you copy the same curve to your brows, so you have that lids also moving with your blink. So you're welcome. So basically, since we're here, we can do that as well. So let's go. So anything down lower to the lower lid is the flushiness on the cheeks. You just copy the lower lids to the cheeks. And the top lids, you copy that to your brows, because that's what, whenever you blink, your brows follow and then they open up when the lid is opening up. So basically, the simplest way you could do is copy the upper lid, copy to the brow. Key, same at the same frame, and then just select the TY, which is again up and down, and copy. So I'm gonna warn you guys, because it's gonna be too extreme, because the values, you're just copying the curves, so you always have to adjust them. So when you do that, oh, didn't I select the other key? And make sure you select all the translate Y and key it. Then Control V, paste the upper lid to the brows. Now what's happening is it's going so extreme, which is kind of anticipated, because that's that's not the same values for the brows. We just wanted to tone it down. We go ahead and DM the curve. So we don't want too much visible. We just want that flushiness because you don't want, like, our brows don't do much when you are blinking, so just favor that. So let's see how it's. There you go. Now this whole thing feels more alive, more flushy. So that's it. The basic thing. What the first thing you just have to consider to like kind of nail it is your upper lid. This is your main curve. So like you make sure that's timing wise and the way it is cushioning back and settling, you have to make sure that's like on point. Then the rest just follows. Copy, copy, copy. Like just copy paste the curve. So that's all good. Now, one more extra for the polish, I'll just tell, but I won't do it at this point, is when you blink, and for a little bit exaggerated animation, like blue sky. Even Pixar and Disney does that, but they do it very minimal. Like you can't even see. It's like unseen with the real eyes. But like when you see the cartoony animations, like Blue Sky Animation Studios, so when they turn, they squash the head and then they open it up, right? So at that point, you can actually copy your blink, the TY, to your squash and stretch, which is our this. So again, you just have to get your top lid right. Then you just copy. Everything is copy pasting and just adjusting the values. So you're basically saving your time, making your life much easier, and you're finishing the shot way quicker than sitting and animating every single curve. So now since we got the kind of like a good flushy blink, let's go and do the head turn. I'll do just a basic turn, and then we can go ahead and see from the GIFs that I showed you the earlier, like these, we can just like do it like what or surprise. We'll go with the flow. We'll see how I'm feeling, like what kind of expression we want to give. But let's do just a basic head turn, so you guys can see how I work. Just a turn. Okay. So let's say around like 10 frames. I don't have any set rule after how many frames I'm going to put the key because I keep on moving them. I'm more like a straight ahead animator. So a straight ahead animator, there are like 3 types of animators. Layered animators, where they create a lot of layers and then you put like your eyes on one layer or your body and then your head on one layer, and like make sure you put another head layer and make sure that you add another like overshoot or something. But that is a layered animation. A straight ahead animation is you just keep putting keys and moving them, and basically like you're working with spline from the beginning. So you're like moving things around. The main thing about straight ahead animation is timing. Timing has to be right. Timing is the key for a straight ahead. And for the pose to pose, the third animation, which third animators are pose to pose, where they make sure their poses and they work with the stepped. So that is this. So their curves, everything is in stepped curves. So when they go here, they hit a pose, and then they go after like 2-3 frames, they hit a pose. Then they have an in-between breakdown pose. So basically the pose-to-pose animators, they work very much like a 2D animator, because in 2D animation, we do have like really strong poses, and then we add a breakdown in between. So, but my workflow is I like to do straight ahead, which is like, I just go with the flow of the timing. So like when I turn, I just put a random key, but then I just keep moving it around according to the timing. So for example, I have a turn. So timing really bad. Like it's like very slow. So maybe I just wanted to increase a little bit, a little faster. And then I'll go like another like few frames. I key it and then I just kind of settle like an overshoot. So just A to B pose, but I'm just adding that. So basically I'm just like very rough. I put just keys all over and then like I keep on working with my curves and like finessing the animation and like work with the timing. I'm very much with the timing. I don't care what the nose is doing, what the ears are doing, what the head is doing, or what even my torso is doing at that point. I really don't care. I just work in sections. So if I'm doing a body, so in straight ahead animation, if you're doing a full body, what is the biggest move in the body? Like the root, which is the hips, right? So your root is like the biggest thing, which like if you're going from A to B pose, the big move is happening in your root. So you want to first nail down your root. So then how we did with the blink, you just copy the root to your spine and then to your neck and then your head. So basically we always go with the big moves and we copy paste and then you just like keep working around with the timing. So it's a very messy way of working, but if you get the hang of it, it's really handy because you exactly know what the curves are doing and what is the big moves happening. So in this head turn, my biggest move at the moment is the head. So what my head is doing, I copy that curve and you will see like where I will paste that curves more. So let's first do as a basic turn, right? And I see like it's kind of overshooting abruptly, so I'm just gonna push one frame. So what is our curve that is doing? This is RX. RX. So you basically straight ahead animation, you really have to know how your curves are doing, what each curve is doing. There's no key on your RZ, there's no key on your RY. The main curve is RX. So if you know what your curves are doing, you have a way more control on what you're doing, and you just can go to that specific curve, clean that out from the way beginning, so you don't have to worry about, oh, I put all the poses, then put it on the step, then when I go to spline, my timing is all messed up. So what do I do? Like, you don't have to worry about that. You're already like kind of like drawing and erasing and making sure everything is like working. So it's very messy way of working, but you're already shaping the character and the timing from the way get-go, like from the beginning. So that overshoot, I really don't like it. I'm gonna push few frames. And I will just reduce the timing. Like, I don't want too much of an overshoot, like as if she's like shaking her head. So this is my A to B, the end pose, right? So I just want it to a little bit overshoot, not that big. And then again, I like to work with the weighted tangents just so that I don't have to put an extra key just to get the favoring animation. So I just break the tangent, pull out this curve, and with 30 frames. Is the music too loud? Or do you guys hear the music in the background? animation related questions. I can answer regarding the head turn. We'll go with this, whatever I'm doing right now. The bigger questions, I guess, the more and more we go through other music is just replaying. Thank you. Perfect. So yeah, like the further streams. So basically, I kind of like planned out a little, but you guys can suggest me like if you wanted me to show something more. But for now, I have this outline, which is like I'm gonna do blink and a head turn, which is like a basic thing for any kind of acting shot that you wanted to do. So you can incorporate that in any of your acting shots. And then after we are done with this, the next thing that I will be demoing would be a shot. So I will download an audio file, like some kind of audio, like a dialogue shot, and I will stage the character. I will mod the character. So basically, the reason why I like to modding the character is you have a character. This is like a free rig, Amy rig, right? If let's say John is animating Amy, and then Rush is animating Amy, so they both are two great animators. But if John modify his character by adding a jewelry, earrings, changing the hair color, or changing the hair overall, and yeah, like literally modding your character, having the exact same rig, but you're just adding some extra accessories just to like stand out, to make your character unique to your own shot, then you definitely stand out when the recruiters look at your demo reel. So I like to emphasize all my students to mod the characters, because recruiters kind of see the same old like Malcolm rig, Amy rig, let's say like animation mentor rigs, but if your character is not standing out, then probably you have very low chances of like making that impression. I mean, yes, you can make your impression with the way you animate it and stuff, but the way you stage it and the way you present your character is equally important. So back in 2013, when I did my demo reel, I made that emphasis on my own demo reel shots, is to stand out. Like nobody will, like people should like go and search, where did she get this character from? Like it's so good, because they can't find it unless they sit and exactly like model the character like how I have it in my demo reel, because I modded according to my preferences and my shot, like what I want the character, what hair I want the character to have, what kind of like accessories or like the jewelry she need to have. So yeah, so the following demos I wanted to give how to customize your characters, and then how to plan out where to find the dialogue, where to find the references, and then how to shoot your references, how to stage your character, and blocking, IP, then polish. So if that sounds good, then stick with me, then we can just like over the following streams we can go with that. But if you guys have any other suggestions, like a small animation, like I know that's a huge big chunk, it goes like over the weeks, but like if you have anything short things like how to do a hand gesture or something, you can just feel free to suggest me and we can try that out before we jump onto a bigger chunk of animation. But if you're good with what I have outlined, yeah, then I'll just go. What's the biggest difference in the movie and game facial animation? So the movies, you want it to be very like close to the reality. Like if you're talking about the movies like Avengers or any kind of superhero movies where like you are kind of replicating closer to the reality, like how our face works. So they have extra controllers on the face to move things. But if you're going with a game, yes, the game is also realistic, but we kind of have a little bit more like our own control over it, saying that because we are creating the character, right? So and it is in the game environment, it's not in the real. So like the Avengers, it's not Loki, who's that, the one with all the stone? Thanos, yes. So yes, so his fate, he's a main villain of the whole Avengers, right? So his animation, I walked into one of my good friends from Digital Domain, like he's the director animator over there, and he did a workshop on how they made it look so real. So there is a thing called face acts where basically the animators study every muscle in the face. So like when you talk, like what are the muscles and which direction are they moving? So let me just pull up that. Hold up, I think I'm missing something. How about a shoulder motion? Yeah, so shoulders are basic. Well, when I do the head turns or do some kind of like torso, it falls under that. So that is like in our acting thing. I can just go ahead with that. And flow with hands and fingers. Yes. I'll go with that as well. So yeah, I'll select the dialogue where we can go with that, or if not, after this head turn, I can just go just with the fingers and show you how that's done. So you get a better idea, and then you can use that in your acting shots, like whether the hands are on the table, the hands are interacting a cup, or the hands are doing like the gesturing or pointing or opening or a hi, bye, whatever the hands do. So I can go with that. So after head turn, maybe I can do the fingers because that's a big, the shoulders actually go hand in hand with the body. So we don't have to focus on that extra on the side. We'll go with that. All right, so let me open the face act. This is the thing. So for Thanos, they had to study this. So this is called facts. So facts is basically they're studying every muscle in your face. So what makes, so when we do like O's, E's, like what are all the muscles in your face moving? So basically they have to make a rig that moves every muscle in your face, and yeah, so it's like very, so for example, like at the testing stage they do the facts onto the face, right? And then the animators test this rig and they say, like from the human, it's not going, it looks still very rigid, like because it's 3D, it's not doing that. So the riggers or the programmers who create the effects rig, they go ahead and add more keys and more flushiness to the rig, and then we take and make sure we need to know exactly how the face is working, so we can use all the you mean like all the points in your face to move, all the controllers in your face to like make sure we animate every single muscle. So that's what basically they did for him. So it's a good way to like kind of study the facial. So yeah. Right. I think how did I start with that? Kind of lost my train of thought. But anyways, let's first jump into the head turn. We did a basic turn. So that's like just a basic turn, right? So now we will decide. Do you guys have any preference of what the character wants? Do you want it to be angry head turn, surprise head turn, kind of head turn, or should I just pick something? I'm just gonna pick something on my side. Okay, I'll just do like an expression change. So like turn the head, look at something and be like kind of just surprised. So we'll just open the eyes. Like character is like kind of surprised, like, oh, there you are, or like, hey, something like that. So basically right now we just have the RY going from A to B point and then the settle down. So this key. Alright, I have one more thing that I wanted to address is like make sure time snap is on for the value snap. Yeah, it's the value, these two, so that when you're moving your keys, I see in some of my students, they have like there's a 20 and 21, both the keys, right? Both the values, and there is another value in between. When you don't have these two, then you're actually basically having an in-between. But there are only two, that's 20 and 21. We don't have any value in between, which will confuse you because when you're kind of polishing it, you don't know, should I be selecting 21 or should I be selecting 20? So that's why these two I recommend people to use, so it just snaps. So that way you have a cleaner way that, okay, my curve is ending on 21 and 22 and nothing in between. So now I can like manage. But in case you want the between, you just pull the tangents out, in and out. So that would ease in and ease out the timing of the curve. So make sure that is on. And so we just animated like very robotic A to B with the RX, right? So when we move our head, the RY, or let's say in here it is RZ, so the up and down. So when we turn, we want that dip in the head, so we go down and then we go up, or we either can go up and then down. So but basically when I'm like turning, basic move, like a human basic move would be you dip down, because your head is so heavy that you don't you are using extra energy to lift your head up. So the natural move would be you go down and then you go up. So it doesn't have to be too down, but we just favor that downward motion to scoop up. So I'll be, let's say, so it's halfway B, like A to B, right? So somewhere in between, I will add, wait, does this rig have, okay. So it depends on every rig works different way. So some rigs, they kind of have like the, what you say, like, when you move your head there, the neck is favoring and like it's more organic. But if in case some rigs are very rigid and just moving head alone, then you add, like, make sure that you pull the head forward with your translations. But for now, we'll keep it again simple so that you guys know exactly what curves I'm using, and then we can keep adding in extra things to just give that more organic feel. Do you care what your graph looks like in the end, even if it's perfect in the viewport? I don't care how my graph looks like. So, because I'm a straight ahead animator, I mean, I do kind of care how my curves are doing. I don't want, for example, let's say this is not weighted, it's a non-weighted tangent. And then I break the tangent and I do that. I wouldn't want to see this. So I'm aware of how my curves look like. They're always weighted, but I don't want any funky curves. But I don't care if, like, let's say, like, if all the curves are stacked up and it looks like crazy, that's okay. So I really don't care about like how my graph editor looks. What looks in actual animation is important. But if in your animation there's something like a funky move happening, you know that the curve must be like something crazy, so you go and correct that. But overall, like stacking up or things, I really don't mind. I just don't want, I don't have to sit there and keep making sure everything looks pretty. So to answer that, no, I don't care how my graph editor looks like in the end. What look I want to, so the viewport should be perfect, but I don't care about the graph editor. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, that would actually come very handy because you don't want in between keys and then realizing what your curves are doing. So that comes handy. All right. There you go. So I just dipped. Very simple again. I select my head turn. I did my A to B pose. Then I went to my RY and I just added. But then I feel like that's too much of a dip happening. Let's take out the curves. I don't like them. That's too much. So I'm gonna just tone down, and I push one frame, and then I wait, and I break the tangent, then I pull this out. What I'm gonna do is I might actually add an extra key here for the RZ, which is our up and down. And then I'll see how I feel about. That's like snapping every value. We don't want every value, but like every frame is better. So I'm just gonna take out that for now. I just want more like when you're moving your curve, you just don't want snap it from this value to this value. You want in between, but you don't want in between frames. So this is very important, but this is according to your preference, but I don't like it to on because I want my values to have control. Let's do this and see how I like. There you go. That's a little bit of an overshoot. So now it feels more organic, a head turn. But then I feel like it's kind of hitting a wall, like an imaginary wall. So maybe, so we will have this delay a teeny tiny bit. Did you guys notice the blink has to happen here because that's where the head is turning, because we just like randomly move the keys for the blink just so that it's not starting from the frame 1. So we didn't still focus that, but first let's get the bigger move, then we can push the blink where we want. So usually, preferably when the head is turning, that's where you'll have your closed eye, and then when it turns, that's where you have your open eye. So yeah, that's again hitting. So that's the RX, which is our side to side. That's hitting a big imaginary wall. So we will push 2 frames a frame. Let's do 2, and then if anything, we will just drag this. So we're kind of having an imaginary frame here, which is actually technically ending here because it's coming down, but then we're just having some kind of cushion over there. There you go. And right. Maybe we'll move like the settle. What frame? So you see, there are like so many keys here, but if you know what your curve is doing, you don't have to worry about this. I do see that when you're frame pose to pose, you make sure, oh, my pose is on 16, so I need to have a pose on the 12th. If you mess up any curve, then you want to make sure all the curves are stacked up onto the 16. But in the straight ahead, I really don't care what my here timeline and the graph editor is doing, because I focus solely on the curve, make sure my timing is right. So what's happening here is important, what's happening here is not important. If you know what's happening, it's more than enough. But if people see so many keys, that doesn't worry me because I know what my curve is doing. So there you go. That's a basic head turn, and we only animated the RY and RZ, which is the side to side and the up and down. So now we have the RY, which is, wait, up and down and side to side. And what is this? Up and down. Whatever this is, RY. We're going to see what we can do to like give that, so that we are like kind of using all our like keys to make it more organic. But if the RY is doing nothing, then we don't have to bother about it. Oh, tilt, yes. Tilt. So thank you. So the tilt, you can add a little, so like maybe when you're turning, it can tilt a little and then that kind of favors. But if you feel like the tilt is not doing much, it's up to you. So you have all the control over that. But the basic is like when you turn, you kind of dip down and you get turn up. Do you ever work in stepped mode as opposed to straight ahead? Thanks for the response. You're welcome, Danny. So yes, I sometimes when I'm doing body mechanics, that's where sometimes I do stepped, is not opposed to straight ahead, but like I do sometimes, like I want like a good pose because it's a whole body mechanics, right? Then I want to hit a pose, then I hit a pose, and then again I kind of go ahead and do straight ahead, like move keys around. I'll get the timing right. But that I kind of approach that only when I'm doing body mechanics, full body, like doing an action shot, a parkour, or like a ninja jump or something like that. But when I'm doing like an acting shot where like the person is sitting and talking, you basically look at the bigger moves, and that's where your timing is. So what your head is doing, or what your torso is doing, what your root is doing. So you could still do straight ahead in the body mechanics, but that's somewhere like sometimes I feel like I want to focus on the hitting the big, good, strong pose. When I do like body mechanic shots, but if not, I'm always very comfortable and kind of like straight ahead in animating with straight ahead, so I like that. Yeah. All right, let's see. So the tilt, let's key over there. Similar, I mean, like where we had the RX and RY, I think. Okay, that's happening something funky because I think we pulled out this too much. Let's go ahead. I don't want it because like that's where the timing messes up. So you do want to have that cleaner. And when you clean that, just check with your timing as well. All right, so let's go. So wherever like the in-between, where's our pose ending? Okay, let's say even the RY and somewhere there. Yes, I do use hotkeys to go faster. I don't have at the moment anything set up for my, because I don't recently, like I don't work at all with Maya. Because at work at Ubisoft, we work with Motion Builder. And then we have our own proprietary engines, so the game engine. So there is not much I do in Maya other than for this demo, and then when I teach my students at CGS Spectrum. So that's why I don't have any hotkeys, but if I'm gonna jump into my, like when I jump into like actual shots right now, like following up, maybe I can create some and show you guys what are the hotkeys and what are the handy scripts that I use to, like, for example, if I want to amp and de-amp the curve, there are a few scripts done by one of the animators at Pixar that I worked. He actually created those scripts, which is like amping and de-amping. So you can put that as a hotkey, like let's say plus and minus sign, and then when you click the plus sign, it amps the curve, and when you click the minus sign, it de-amps the curve. So that comes handy. So you don't have to sit here and like, oh my god, I gotta. This one is okay, but let's say when you have like a bunch of other keys, to select all and keep moving, it's a lot. So like you can select all those keys and then just go in with the hotkey. You can just use it pretty handy. So yeah, but I would definitely encourage use the hotkeys. It'll be much easier. I mean, if you're doing more complex shots. So there are two preferences in this head turn right now. That is there's like two ways. One, I had it tilt this way, which is to her screen left. What's happening is she's like scooping on that side, but if I want that same thing to reverse, you can see like that makes a huge difference. It's like dipping down and then going. So it depends on what kind of head turn you want. But I think this looks kind of off because it doesn't look natural. So I would prefer the other way. More natural. Yeah, always act it out and see how your head is turning. Or people move, everybody moves different. So whatever feels right and whatever feels natural to you, let's do it. I think it's the RZ that is hitting a wall. Something like it's kind of jerky. So I'm gonna just cushion that a little bit. How do you guys like the head turn? Aaron, thank you. Thanks, John. Hold up, something I feel like it's hitting. Okay, I don't need this curve because like this extra key, right? I can delete that and I can just like pull these curves just to favor it. So we're just cleaning up on the go. So let's see. Okay, that makes much better. That's moving smooth. All right, so since we have like a pretty, I would say still a basic head turn, now what will I do is I'll move the eye blinks, which we wanted to favor the turn. So curve, and then with the head turning. There. The no. Ah, the rig is too heavy. Or is it the streaming that's making it slow? Oh, we just missed the brows. So let's go back to where we have the blink. Let's select the brows. That's why like I like to add the brows and the lower lids, everything like in the polish stage. So like we have everything working. Like basic turn, head, get that right. Blink, upper lids, get that right. Then copy curves. So once we have all our brows and that here. Need the cheeks. We did animate the cheek, right? That's not so. The other brow. Yes. Perfect. Now all together everything is moving when the head is turning. There you go. Are the lids moving with the pupil? No. That's our next polish. So what you guys did is like we copied the top lid to the bottom lid to have that cushion. Then we copy the top lid to the brows to have that favoring that brows when it's blinking. And what you do is you again copy the top lid and then you copy it to your pupil up and down the inner eye. So what happens is when you're blinking, your pupils go with your lid and then they overshoot up and then come at the same time. So the basic thing what you take out from this basic blink, your top lids are very important because that's what will be like copying and like just adjusting the timing. So that is the main curve that you have to animate. Rest everything copy paste. So there you go, because we didn't animate any pupil, so we'll do that, but for now this is like a basic head turn. We have just like few more minutes before the stream ends, I believe. 7 to 8, yeah. So what I will be doing further is I'll have a mouth change with the eyes, and then we will animate the stretch squash of the head, and then we will have a little bit of the torso and the neck. Doubts, questions? regarding the head turn. I think like the overshoot is like happening too much, like where the head turns and it's like kind of overshooting too much, which is our tilt. So when you look at your character, what is that thing doing funky, like that overshoot? You exactly know where to go. Oh, that's my TY. Oh, that's my TX, or that's my TZ. Like if you know that, you don't have to go to an exact frame to just select the curve and be like, move this around here in the timeline. You just can go to that specific curve and move it. So like you have a lot more control on that. So now I select my head and then I go to my RY and I see that it's overshooting too much. So I end that quicker. Then and a little bit of R.
But I don't understand. Who could have polluted
Right.
the entire Earth?
Now the C.
It's too late now. It's too late now. It's too late now.
There you go. So yeah, we have that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'll go ahead and animate the pupils, because that's the eyes are the ones that's leading the head.
Soon these
That's the basic rule for animation. Your eyes lead your big head move. So let's go and see where is the eye controls. Delete these. Nope. This. Nope. Ooh. All right, there you go. I'm gonna select both my lids. Sorry, pupil. The eyes. And then I will... Let's do the blink thing, right? What I told about the up and down, which is the TY. The up and down. So let's go to our upper lid. Let's see where the key is. Okay, right there. Frame 5. Key there. Then we go where the blink is happening. Key there. The key is S. I think Amy has a switch to swap between using the frontal eye control and the... Oh, really? I mean, we're just doing a basic one, so let's go with this for now. Let's see. I mean, this is kind of doing the job for now. Let's say that's where it's opening up, or let's key there, right there. So that's where it's opening, right? So we will go to... Hold up, before I key so much, I want to keep it a little cleaner. So I'm just gonna go to the TY and I just right click and key, so only the TY is keying, so that I don't want any other extra keys over there. Then I key again here, I come and I key here again. Then what I'm doing is I'm gonna go to my upper lid, TY. Same thing. Copy. Go to your pupils. Then you delete. Paste. They're gonna go crazy because that's so, like, probably they're somewhere here, I guess. Make sure you just bring that up and then see how what it is doing. Okay, I think we can go further. And then maybe a overshoot can be... It's too much overshoot. Seems like it's like a sticky eye. There you go. Looks more natural. We don't want too much. Reduce. Eat. There you go. Nice. So now we have that. Up and down. We're copying the upper lid to your eyes. And now we want it to lead the head. So we want the eyes to lead, so we do the side to side. So we go to the pupil, not the scale. Or TX. Oh, did I use the frontal eye control, I guess? Not moving. Follow. Okay. Then that follows. What am I doing up and down? What controllers do you use for side to side? It does mint. Nice. Perfect. And we can copy that to this curve. Of course. Awesome. Nice. Good. A blink. Yeah, I don't like to use a blink for any of the characters that they give. This is like too robotic. I like to have control over my own blink. So I animate my upper lids, then I copy the lower. So usually this is like kind of useless for me, but to your preferences. Alright, our side to side. How do I get this working? So, how do I swap? Aim? Is this? Follow? Aim? No. Why is this not full? Oh, these? Oops. Hold up, what are these? Delete, translate there. Oh, it should work, right? The TX. This isn't working. That kind of defeats the purpose. This one? Where is it? I am. Oh, nice. So much polished stuff. These all like very flushy. See? The TX. It's working here. Why isn't it working here? Only up and down? That's odd. Yes. Huh. Well, anyways, for my like the shot that I'm gonna work on, I'm gonna have my own mod, which I modded the Malcolm rig. So let's say that at this point, I would want my eyelid to be looking wherever I'm facing. So if the head is turning to the screen left, then I want the pupil to lead the head. So basically you'll add a key here. So for now, because that's not working, we'll just leave that over there. So we just saw something cool that is quaint. This one, right? So we can use that. Let's go copy this curve. Go to this print. And we say key selected. Oh, we don't have to copy. We don't have to copy curve. Wait. Copy. It's gonna go crazy. How much bigger yet? The other way. Ooh. Make sure you're not going too much. That's an overshoot, so it's just like flip the curve. Is it doing anything? Kinda. If it's gonna break the whole geometry, then just don't bother to use it. Because you're already like kind of favoring with the brows and the cheek, so you're basically getting that squint by yourself. It's just like to add extra layer to that. But now we're gonna copy the top lid, which is our up and down, the blink. We copy this curve, go to the squash. Let's go to the squash. Even this one, I feel like it's not working. Broken? Anyways, thank you. So we go to the blink. So the same curve, we are copying it onto the squash. So key it there. TY is the squash. See the curve? So we just go there. Copy. I think it's gonna go crazy. Yes. So we just tone down. We don't want that. If you're working at Blue Sky, yes, you want it to be seen literally in your face, like squashing. But like if you're at other studios where you just want it to be believable, then you tone down really tiny bit. Like you just know that the head is squashing, but you don't want to go overboard. Make sure this is just normal, because only for that blinks we did kind of like ease in and ease outs, but for the head it should be fine. Washing. more and more we are putting the keys, the rig is getting heavy. Squash. I guess so. I mean, it's very minimal, but it's going to be more and more flushier the more you... What happened? Okay, that's... There you go. More flushy. It's the more and more you layer it, the more and more like you're putting in more and more keys all over. Like ears, nose, now mouth. You can just have it open. For the next stream, I will do it, but I'll wrap this up today here. I hope you guys learned something with eye blinks and head turn. So I know the 2 hours like went so fast. I still can sit here and keep animating, but we will save the mouth and then the torso and the shoulders for the next stream. So we will finish this, we will wrap this up, and then I will animate the hands or the fingers, and we can move on to bigger stuff. When we get the basics right, we're just incorporating that into like the bigger shot. So oh, thank you. Thank you. Awesome. I'm happy that you guys take away something from the stream. It's my first stream, yeah, I'll make sure that I'll bring some tips and tricks every stream as well, so that make sure that you incorporate that into your work so that you can stand out with your demo reels when you apply. So you're not applying with just a basic demo reel. So I'm pretty sure once you stand out with your demo reel, you're gonna get any kind of job you want, your dream job. So yeah. I would encourage you guys to go ahead and do a small head turn and blink and see. And if you have any questions, bring that to the next stream and I can answer. Is there like some difficulties or some challenges you're having? So I can go through that. Are these streams recorded? Danny, yes, they are. They will be on Twitch and YouTube, so you always can go back and take reference of it. They will be saved. Hopefully, that's what they said. I just had to click one button to go online, so hopefully they get saved. If not, I can do this again for you guys next week, way faster, because you've already known. So like, at least make sure that I kind of refresh it. So the recorded videos will always be on YouTube. Yes. Thanks, John. Luna Phenomenals. Thank you guys. All right, on that note, I will end it here, and highly encourage you guys to go try this out, because looking at me demonstrating it will be totally different from you trying it. So go try it. And if you have any more doubts when you're actually doing the head turn, then bring it the next stream and then we'll go from there. Sounds good? I will take a yes. All right. Thank you. Awesome. Sounds good. Awesome. All right. See you guys. See you next stream. Bye.